fire pushed back a little bit. Maybe that metal stick right there.
Metal stick?
Yeah. This is the rod that I use, so it's hollow on the inside.
So it gets really hot in there?
It gets pretty hot, and I can blow like this. See how there's smoke coming out of it?
Yeah.
So I use this to blow into the fire. You have to make sure not to inhale, because this thing will turn into a peace pipe real quick. But we just need to add a little bit of kindling, put some of this underneath here. Make sure that it toasts.
Sweet. Ross, we got some wood ready?
Kind of.
All right.
A little bit.
Okay, I gotta. Wait. 3, 2, 1. Wait. Okay. I have to cross the audio. I can sync the audio.
Okay.
2, 1. How's it going, folks? Albert here with Ballista Archery, of course. And today we're doing a podcast. This is the first podcast we have done, and we want to do some more in the future. And my first guest is one of my really good buddies, Mr. Alex Kolosov.
Mm-hmm. Pleasure to be here, man.
Of course. Guys, let me tell you what. It is 12 o'clock right now, literally 11:45. We were going to go film. We were going to go set up studio on the river. We got caught up. We actually have a behind the scenes that we filmed. So
it was crazy.
It was crazy, but...
There was thunder, there was lightning, it started raining like a wall. Our camera got soaked, we had to run out of there, but it was good.
Floated down the river, caught some leeches.
Just a few, they were small, it's all good.
They're probably still, like, honestly, all over us.
It's okay, bloodletting was a thing back in the past, and
yeah.
It's good.
All right, but awesome. So today, folks, we are going to be talking about predators. Predators. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about predators. I know I have some stories of running into some gnarly creatures out here, and I know you have some stories.
You have some crazy stories. If it's mountain lions, Albert has a story. If it's grizzly bears, Albert has a story. If it's mountain lions and grizzly bears together while he's watching elk, Albert has a story. If it's wolves, thinking that he's going to run into a wolf over another hill, then he runs over this hill and he runs it, Albert has a story. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Albert has stories about predators for days, for sure.
Yeah. No, I do have some stories about some predators, and I know your pops has ran into predators. I know you have stories about one of your first deer kills.
Yeah, it was
something about
wild.
wolves, and yeah. So we both of us are, we're located out here in Northwest Montana. So I'll introduce myself a little more to you guys, because most of the time when you guys see me, I'm just shooting the crossbows. However, I don't only shoot crossbows 24/7. So this is more of just kind of a personal introduction, just kind of get to know me a little better, and then Alex will also introduce himself. So my name is Albert Kigiluk. I was born and raised out here in Northwest Montana, and hunted since I was 13 years old. I was always drawn out to the outdoors, hunting, fishing, all that stuff. And then about 3 years ago, I moved to Florida, started working with Ballista, and now I'm here. So I love hunting, love the outdoors. I guess pretty simple, but tell me a little more about you, Alex.
Yeah.
Let's get some good stories going.
Yeah, so basically a similar story, except not really at all. We both grew up in Northwest Montana, obviously. And same exact thing, but ever since I could remember, Albert was always like just out and about. He was either fishing or doing all sorts of stuff. I mean, he actually had a channel a lot, like before he started doing any of this stuff, he actually had a YouTube channel, Wilderness Boys, where he, welcome back guys to Wilderness Boys, and he was just out just doing all sorts of stuff, testing axes, shooting crossbow. I mean, he was doing this before he was even doing it.
Yeah, I was like 14
Fire's kind of
years
going
old.
out, but it's okay. We're just gonna deal with it. But yeah, so we've been friends for like a long time. But yeah, same exact thing. I come from a family of I come from a family of real like outdoor, just outdoors. I mean, going out with the family and picking mushrooms. My dad was always hunting. He's been hunting since, I mean, ever since I was a little kid. And like as long as I can remember, it's always dad comes home, he's covered in sweat. He has that post-hunt smell, you know what I'm saying? Like he has his rifle, you're like, whoa, what is that? And crazy because actually from that, being so like dedicated to hunting and just being so drawn into it, he had an encounter that was so, it was so close to being the end that he literally had to take like a 6-year hiatus. I mean, he might still be in that hiatus right now. I've been trying to get him back in the outdoors, but he's been kind of taking it easier. And that actually brings me to the first story, which is how he encountered a mountain lion. It was insane. So basically dad would go out and he'd have his spot, whatever. And the thing was with dad, like most hunters, he didn't really say his spots. So you didn't really know exactly where he was going. He was just gone. And you're like, well, he might be back tomorrow, tonight, or the next day. I have no clue. And so like, he'd be out, we'd just be like, okay, well, he's fine. He has a gun. He's a great shot, you know, like dad's fine, right? He's always in the woods. He's not scared of anything because your dad's just not afraid of anything. He's like a superhero in your mind. And so he ends up going out and most times when dad would come back from hunting trips, I mean, he was excited, he felt exhilarated, but he came back and I could just tell this guy he was a different man. Something was going on. And he didn't really talk about it for a while, but after a while he kind of opened up and he was like, guys, like, I almost died. And we're like, what are you talking about? And he's like, there was a lion on the mountain. And so we're little kids, we're like, what, the lion, you know, like we're trying to figure this out. I mean, I was probably 13, something like that. This was clear over 10 years ago at this point. And he described the story this way. We actually ended up going to the spot a week later just to check everything out. But what happened was he was walking around, and as he was coming in, he was holding his rifle in the cradle position. He liked just to be able to get quick into it, you know what I'm saying? And he had a lever action 308. And so he's walking, he got his rifle in the cradle, and he's walking in kind of to a bit of it was like a pretty decent climb until he got to a little bit of a flat spot, pretty densely treed in, right? You can't see for more than, I mean, even 20 yards, like just very, like even 10 yards, really.
I mean, most of this area is, like, most of this region where we're at out here, it's like, you literally can't see past 30 yards, like max.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, like you're looking through trees and stuff like that. So it's a real dense area. And as he's walking in, he just feels the hairs on the back of his neck stand up. And he realizes, I'm not alone. Like there's something else out here. And so he turns, and as he looks, as he's turning left, he sees the tip of a tail. You know what I'm saying? Just that tip of a tail flickering. Brings up his gun. As soon as that thing comes out, he literally sees it crouch down and go. And as soon as that thing comes in, it just instantly, you know what I'm saying? You went through that scenario so many times. As soon as you see that movement, you make a decision, and it's just the pull of that finger, blasted that thing. That thing was, sorry guys, I'm just kind of moving around a bit. That thing ends up getting hit straight through the nose, blasting through the brain, jumps up, goes sideways and lands and stops moving. He goes into a state of shock. He's like, he didn't even know what was happening, right? He just like went into like a fight or flight mode, right? Because he just felt that the hair stand up. As soon as he turns, boom, boom, it just happened so fast. He like had to take a quick stop really fast. Thank God that he still has breath in his lungs, right. And his neck isn't just got slit open, you know what I'm saying? And this is just like, for us, this was normal, you know? Dad just goes out into the woods. Like, oh, Dad's just going out into the woods, you know? Just, we never thought about it. We never thought about what would happen if a bear showed up, what would happen. I mean, I remember when my dad was, really big into all this, we used to love to ride through the woods together, and every single time that he'd see an animal, he'd stop the car and he'd chase it. I mean, I remember literally seeing him chase black bears. And they would run because black bears, they'd see you and they'd run. But like, it's just crazy because it's always fun and it's always a good time until you realize like it could switch like that.
And your life is on the line.
And your life is literally on the line.
Yeah.
And so that thing gets dropped and we come back a week later and I kid you not, we find the spot. I kid you not, the thing was as long as me plus another foot from the tail. And it was just a small female. Like it wasn't even that big. I was 13, so I was a lot shorter. I was like 4'9", probably at that time. But yeah, like it was like me and like longer. I was like, dude, that's insane.
Yeah, no, they're crazy.
Yeah. And you don't see him until it's too late.
You literally don't see him.
Yeah.
And the thing is about the mountain lion, so actually super like coincidental. I literally saw a mountain lion less than a week ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't tell you?
No, where?
Oh, yeah. So me and my buddy Gavin, I have a short on it. We were just going out, doing some scouting, and this is super random. You never see him like out in the middle of the day, but we were just driving, and it was literally just like running. It ran across the road. I'm like, what is that? He's like, what? And I'm like, oh, that's a mountain lion. And you just see their tail really sticks out, just like because it's like they blend in and just like a black tail. It's like a little like snake on like a little cobra, like a cobra or something. It's going like twitching, like it was running in the ditch and stuff, and super cool. But yeah, my grandpa has super similar story. I think I've told you this, and pretty much. So my grandpa, there was a place. So where my grandma lives right now, literally 10 minutes away. It used to be public land to where you can hunt, and now it's a park. You can't really hunt there anymore. But so my grandpa would go there. There was a bunch of elk there, a bunch of big bucks. You know, like it was just paradise. This is like 30 years ago. This is when hunting was good back in the good old days. I wasn't around for the good old days, but
it's pretty saturated right now.
Yeah, it's saturated. There's not a lot of game, especially Northwest region, because of the predator. Like, yes, there's a lot of hunters, a bunch of hunters, like a bunch of people moving in, but there's like the predators aren't getting managed. Like the grizzly bears, the wolves, like it's like you'll hear about it in the hunting circles of like, hey, like this stuff needs to get managed. But outside of the hunting circle, everyone is really uneducated about predators.
Completely.
And it's all a political show, which really sucks.
Protect the animals without even understanding how the ecosystem works, without understanding the balance that God
and then there's no balance.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. Like they literally like last summer they released wolves into Colorado.
I heard about that.
Yeah, and like
I heard about
Colorado is one of like the best states right now for elk hunting. And I guarantee you in 5 years it's gonna be it's gonna be like
those things are apex predators. I mean, they'll come in and just scoop the whole ravine. Those things will be drawn out.
Wolves are some of the like I admire wolves. I think they're really cool. Like I really admire wolves. They're really cool, but they are too smart for their own good, and they need to get managed. Yeah. But
wolves are killing machines. Wolves are literally killing machines.
Actually, did you know that they'll actually kill for fun, like for sport?
That's insane.
Yeah, like in the wintertime, like when animals are weak and stuff, they literally like just chase deer and elk down to death just for the heck of it. Like they're not even hungry and they'll kill just for the sport.
You just gotta run that energy out of them. It's like it's a dog.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, chasing a rabbit, it's fun, you know.
Yeah. I think in Yellowstone, I saw a statistic where it's like, man, I'm gonna butcher it, but. Man, I wish I remember. I wish I brought us. I searched some statistics up about.
We literally just pulled up. We're like, okay, we're making a podcast.
Literally, this is the most unprepared. Like, I mean, like, the thing is, we both have really busy schedules. He's building a tiny house. I run kayak tours in the evening, so it's just super busy schedule. Summertime is crazy, so if it's a little unprepared. We apologize, but it's raw, uncut. That's what it's about. But anyways, I don't remember the statistics exactly, but wolves kill like a stupid amount of elk every year.
Yeah, I believe it, dude.
I think it was like...
No doubt.
I don't want to over-exaggerate, but I don't know. It's a lot. It's got to be like... It's a lot. I'm not going to throw numbers out
2,000
right
elk per one wolf.
No, it's not like 2,000, but... Next podcast, I'll bring the numbers up.
He'll take notes for next week.
I'll prepare next time.
Yeah, there you go. But, so tell me about the story that you were going to say about how your grandpa had an encounter.
Yeah, so Resumed.
I'm curious about that.
Really, really close, right? Pretty much right in the town where I grew up, Kalispell. Really close, pretty much in town. And so my grandpa was out hunting, and super similar. Like I don't remember all the details, but I know he was out walking around, and all of a sudden, all the hairs on his body stand up.
It's weird how that works, right?
Yeah, it's a common theme.
It's a very common theme.
Especially when something's watching you. I wonder if. So I've noticed, like, whenever I go hunting, like, after, like, for example, like, bears or deer or whatever, it's like, all of a sudden, I don't see any animals.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they just sense, like, they get that, like, same feeling.
Right.
Where it's like, oh,
Right.
something's watching me, and, like, when tourists go, they just see everything. It's like, oh. But anyways, okay.
Dude, I can tell if a baby's watching me from across the store. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something there. It's
Some
not
type of intuition.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, but anyway, continue.
So, Grandpa's walking around. Everything starts standing up. And he's like, literally the same thing, like, snap, like something is watching me. And he turns around, and I don't remember, if I remember right, I think the mountain lion was about to pounce, or it was already like midair. Because I know when he shot it, because it was up in the tree.
Oh, wow.
It was watching him. So all I
Yeah.
know is, like, by the time he turned around, and, like, same thing, like, you just shoot because it's your life on the line. You're not messing.
Dude,
like,
yeah.
You're not like.
That thing had that bird's eye view kill shot
It's
on him, bro.
when the mountain lion is on you, it's on you.
yeah.
Especially if you start feeling the hair standing up, like, I'm sure, like, that
Oh,
is
dude,
your
he's
body,
locked
like,
in.
Like,
He's locked in.
like, oh snap, something's like about to pounce me. But anyways, so I remember, like, he said he shot it and it just like landed right at his feet. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Just.
Yeah, I mean, that was mid-trajectory. And he
Yeah.
just 360 no-scope dropped that thing.
Crazy.
Dude. Wow. So hearing things like that, right? Did that ever put you in a place where you're like how did hearing stories like that make you, I don't know, I guess prepare as a hunter or feel, or, you know, like,
Did it make me
what
feel any
did it make you
different,
feel, did it
or-
instill anything
Yeah.
into you hearing those stories like from your grandpa, like as a hunter? And
Honestly.
yeah. No.
Honestly.
Like
when
two
it-
options: either we're stupid or we don't learn anything.
No, I'm gonna be honest. When
It's a
it comes
sense of
to
adventure.
When it comes to predators, I am almost a little too comfortable.
Why do you
I
think
will
that is?
chase them, and I'll literally.
Are you just too much of a predator? Is that it?
It might be.
He's like, I'm trying to be the apex predator.
I am the apex predator. No,
That
but,
sidearm. I mean, yeah.
but I'll be honest. So I have a couple of stories.
Yeah, I'm dying to hear him.
So the first one is gonna be, okay, mountain lion or grizzly bear.
How about how the two tied together? Because that was a crazy
The story where they're too tied. Okay, so yeah, I have a few stories where. Okay, so that's gonna be the mountain lion story, but the grizzly bears. Okay, so I was walking through the woods. I was supposed to. So this was a crazy day. So I woke up. I was gonna go do some high country mule deer hunting. It was like, I think it was like 6,000, like almost 7,000 feet elevation. So pretty high up. 7,000
just
feet.
moving up, dude.
Way up there.
Yeah.
There's probably like 3 feet of snow. I was like knee to waist deep.
Oh, dude.
So I'm just
No
trekking.
snowshoes.
No snowshoes.
You're just like
Just walking up,
just tiptoeing through the powder,
tiptoeing
bro.
through the powder. And I got some pictures. I might throw those pictures up on the screen for y'all, but pictures. But so that was like I woke up really early that day, doing some high country. This is my first time at this spot, but I was just like, I'll go check it out. Hiking in the dark alone.
What time was this?
Like time of year or
Like time of day.
So I was hiking in probably like 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
It
Okay.
gets during like general season. It only gets light at like 8 o'clock. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
4 hours or something or
Yeah, it's like
three
three
and a half hours
right.
before daylight. I started hiking about.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So anyways, ended up hiking up to the mountain. Did some glassing. Didn't see much, but super tired at this point. Get back to the truck, drive down, and in this area, I mean, like I had the choice to go home, or I was like, I'm gonna take a nap in the truck, and then just cause like this is towards the end of the season already, so I'm like, I'm just trying to
Right. You're like, just get more time.
Just keep
in.
going, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And So I take a nap in the truck, and it's fast forward. It's the evening hunt. It's probably like, I don't know. It's probably like 4 hours before dark. So
yeah,
it's like the evening.
Yeah, you've been out there all day, type of thing.
All day. Took a nap. Now it's evening, and I was gonna go run up just a little trail. I was gonna do just a quick like little trail run because I wasn't. Because this area, like, there's a lot of whitetails in there, and I know there's a lot of stuff out there, but just kind of like, I wasn't expecting to go far or anything, but I ended up going just on this little logging road, walking and cut through get off the logging road, just do a little bit of bushwhacking and run into a herd of elk.
Right.
So, and I wasn't expecting to see elk at all, so I was super excited.
How many do you think there was? How many heads you count?
There was 10 cows.
10 cows? Okay.
Yeah, so.
Gotcha.
Little
Any
herd.
bulls in there or just cows?
Just cows, so that's what
Nice.
I did. So I ended up, I saw them, they saw me, they kind of trotted. They weren't spooked. But they just moved progressively further away from me, and I was just kind of chasing them just through the woods, just going after them, and I end up catching up to them probably 2 miles later. So not too far, but at the same time 2 miles through the woods, like.
Right. You got to track where you're moving, where you're at, right?
So it's taking time.
It's getting darker at this point, so.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm on them, I'm watching them.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for a bull because up until this point, all I saw was their bodies, and I saw a bigger body elk in there. So I thought that might be like a bull.
Right. Good sign.
Yeah, but it was the lead cow. But I'm watching these elk. I got some good view of them. I'm watching them. And then for like 15-20 minutes go by, and I'm like, yeah, there's no bulls in there. Just watch them for a little bit of time. Like, there's no bulls, so I start backing up a little bit, and they start throwing out distress calls because I guess they either saw me or they knew what's going to happen, right? So they started like talking a little more, like meow meow, just doing whatever they think. Or not even distress calls, but they were just chatting more. And I start backing up, and I back up a little bit, and I start going in the opposite direction. And I saw a mountain lion. Literally, he was walking like on a string line straight towards those elk. If I waited, and I 100% believe that mountain lion was stalking those elk. And literally, if I waited probably 30 minutes, I probably would have seen a mountain lion chase elk, which would be once in a lifetime.
That'd be insane.
Opportunity.
Yeah.
It was awesome, and this is a big mountain lion. He was at least 6 feet, minimum 6 feet. He was a big cat. There was a little bit of snow on the ground, so that's a big cat.
Yeah.
You can shoot cats. You can shoot mountain lion in Montana. So I was God, you don't see a mountain lion every day. Most guys are running hounds.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
People don't really do spawn stock unless you get lucky. Kind of in this case, where you just see him just off the road, but hardly ever. You don't just see mountain lions.
That's once in a blue moon, and that blue moon is once in a blue moon.
Yeah, it's crazy. The fact that I literally saw a mountain lion last week is crazy. I was
that is insane.
That's so cool. But so there's a little bit of snow, so I'm able to track him. So I'm walking after him, and I'm I'm gonna shoot this thing. I'm gonna get a rug. It's gonna be awesome. And he starts going into the thicker and thicker and thicker forest. And I stop myself. I'm dude, you probably shouldn't go after this thing because he's a big cat, he's a smart cat, and he's a cat. It's a mountain lion.
It's a cat.
It's a cat. You don't want to mess with a cat.
Yeah.
And these guys, they're smart.
Yeah.
So I could walk and track him down. Next thing I know, his tracks would be gone.
And you're looking in the trees trying to figure out where he's at, and then it's too late.
It's too late. So I'm
it's too late, dude.
Too late.
It's too late.
Too late. So I'm I kind of like my life. So
yeah.
I'm as much as and I probably could have tracked that cat down. I really think so. Whether it would be, he'd probably be in the tree. So I'd probably get to the end of his tracks and I'd be well, fudge. So maybe I wouldn't actually find him, but I think it was so fresh to where I don't think he would go that far.
Okay.
I think I'd be able to get it.
Right.
But I didn't want to risk it.
You had enough confidence to pursue, but you're maybe I'll make the wiser decision and not pursue.
Plus, because it's getting darker. Plus, I'm by myself. So when I go to the woods, I always tell someone where I'm going. But because this is the evening hunt, this spot is different than the original spot too.
Right.
So people know, like my brother, I usually tell my brother,
Right.
he knows what general area I'm in, but like I usually tell him like, hey, I'm gonna be on this road
Yeah.
up here. I send him the pin. Like
That's just a great idea to always keep in mind. Like, yeah, always. That's a great idea.
Even if you're hunting in your backyard, you never know.
You just never know.
You never know.
Yeah.
So you could literally shoot yourself on accident. It's
Break your
happened.
leg. What do you do? You know, someone doesn't see you for a while. Oh, I know where he said he last was, so maybe we should go
Right.
check. You know, it's a good idea.
Very,
Yeah.
safety precautions.
Yeah.
But I'm like, so I'm taking all this into consideration. So I'm like, okay, as much as I would love to get a mountain lion, it's not worth my life. So
Yeah, no.
I backed out. I was kind of disappointed. I was still debating it the whole time, but I'm like, dude, it's not worth it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, you're still young. You'll have plenty of time in the woods. So I'm walking, and at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna walk just a little further,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna still go back to the truck. Fast forward, it's getting darker, and I'm like, at this point, I start going back to the truck, and I'm like, snap, I was already here. The next thing I know, I'm like walking circles.
Yeah.
And luckily, so my phone had like 5% left on it, so I had to shut off like just in case.
Do you have Onyx?
I do have Onyx though, and that's literally what got me out. So I had 5% left.
Get Onyx.
I go on Onyx. I'm like, okay, I'm walking in circles. I'm walking backwards. So I look at Onyx. I'm like, okay, I need to head this direction, and I need you to walk straight that direction. Just keep that direction. And at this point, it's already dark.
Yeah.
And because this was just a quick run through the forest 4 hours ago,
Yeah.
all I have is my
Naturally.
rifle and a knife.
How many rounds?
3 rounds, 4 rounds. 3 or 4 rounds, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So usually if I have my backpack, I have some extra clothes, I have some water, I have like a lighter, like I was way underprepared and I'm lost. It's dark. And this place is known for predators. Mountain lions, a lot of wolves, a lot of grizzly bears. A lot of grizzly bears. So I start walking in this direction. I'm like, I just gotta keep staying in this direction and I'll get back. And I'm walking, I'm bushwhacking at this point. There's no trails, I'm not on any trails. And I cut across a little trail and there was like fresh grizzly tracks, like bigger than my boot. And I'm like size 12 boot.
That's a big boot, dude.
So these tracks are literally like this big, like literally like 13 inches probably.
That's, bro.
13, 14 inch bear track. Super fresh. Like,
Yeah.
how do you know? Well, one thing, like when you spend enough time in the woods looking at tracks, you can kind of notice what a fresh track is. But what was a giveaway also is like the snow is still wet,
Yeah.
and usually like
It hasn't hardened into that shape.
yeah, it usually hardens, or it kind of it warps and like you
Right,
know a
the-
fresh
the-
track
the
like
lines aren't as clear.
yeah, like
after it starts
I'm able
kind
to
of
see like
merge away.
all the little serrations and
Right.
stuff. So
Yeah.
it's a fresh imprint.
That's crazy.
And I'm lost. And probably an hour ago, I was going after a big Tom
Yeah.
mountain lion.
Yeah.
Now there's a massive grizzly bear, and I've been in the woods a
So
lot.
now there's Smokey and Tom.
Yeah,
And Tom and Smokey together is a very bad combination.
very bad combination.
Yeah.
And pretty much the whole time, I'm like yelling in the woods, and I'm like, I'm a child of God.
Amen.
There is no
Preach.
animal
somebody,
that
say
can.
louder for the people in the back.
There is no animal that can harm me.
Yeah.
I'm like straight up like I'm a child of God. Like
Dude,
God,
he's out
like
here proclaiming and prophesying.
No, for real.
dude.
Like
Yeah.
God is on my side. Like the angels are protecting me. Like
Bro, all you guys who are out there like, hey bear, the bear's like, what? I'm coming over. Bro, you start preaching to this bear, this bear's gonna get on his knees and repent, bro.
here's the thing. Every creature is subject to the name of Jesus.
Yeah.
Literally everything.
Yeah,
So
literally.
whether it's
Like all authority,
like,
and dominion and power.
like in church, they're always like authority is like it's different spirits and stuff, but literally animals too. Like I'm not joking. Like and I have this scenario always running in my head where it's like
Bro.
if a bear comes running at me, I'm be like,
Yeah.
in Jesus' name, stop! And I just imagine them just like stopping in their
Top of the
tracks.
tracks, pulls out his sidearm. Okay, now stand up slow.
Yeah, literally like Jesus' name, like for real. Like if y'all are ever scared, like I don't care if you aren't Christian, I do care if you're not Christian, but I'm not. My point is, if you're ever in the woods scared, call on the name of Jesus. Trust me, it works. It helps. As silly as it sounds, if you're an atheist too, like I don't care. Like I said, I do care, but in this scenario, like, bro, just try calling on the name of Jesus.
Amen.
And like even in the woods, and that's one of the awesome things about nature is like,
Yeah.
I see God so much through it and stuff. It's beautiful. But anyway, so I'm like walking.
Anyway.
Glory to the Father, for
I
real.
just can't go to the Father. Yeah.
But anyways.
So you see these fresh grizzly bear tracks, and the light is coming down. The temperatures
It's
are
dark now.
dropping.
Yeah.
There is snow everywhere. He just saw this giant 6-foot mountain lion, and you're depending on the 5% left that you have on your phone to get back to the truck.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
The stakes are high. The stakes are high.
Very high. Plus, I've been up since like 3 a.m. because I drove up, started hiking
Right.
at 5, whatever, 4.
So man is low on juice.
Low on juice. Low on gear.
Literally low on gear.
And
nobody knows where he's at. This is a classic code red. Yeah. Yeah.
But, you know, whole way through yelling, proclaiming.
There you go.
And
The Spirit just carried you on.
Carried me out, and I made it out, and I'm here, and I'm alive.
Dude,
and,
praise the Lord, dude.
yeah, for real. God is good. Like, a lot of times, like, yeah. No, nature definitely brings you closer to God, either because you think you're going to die or because it's just so beautiful and you can't stop it.
Yeah,
So,
it's humbling, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
humbling. You realize there's more than just us, and way, way more. And just, yeah. And it slows you down, too. The pacing of how everything operates in nature and how there's seasons. It reminds you of, like, there's seasons in your life, too.
Yeah.
Things come and things go, and it's good. It is good, man.
yeah, no, it's fire. It's very good. So that was the mountain lion and grizzly bear story, and then I have a few other stories. You want to hear them or?
Wait, so I'm very curious. I know you've said a little bit about wolves, and I know you have this deep fascination with wolves.
I do.
Which
I'm not
I
afraid,
think
I
is
promise.
I'm not afraid, I promise. Which I think has something to do with your. I think the reason that you're so drawn to them is because you have literally studied them to try to learn to hunt like them. You know what I'm saying? Where you're like, how do I out apex the apex predator?
Yeah.
What do I need to know? What does he know that I don't know?
Oh yeah, it's a journey, and I
I do
still
have a
have.
pack, by the way, but that's just one minor thing.
So what's your question?
So well, my question is, well, first of all, my question is, why do you have such a deep fascination for the wolf?
Honestly,
El Lobo. He has a pretty good howl too. I mean, we've done a few wolf calls. They just go out deep and.
we'll literally just go out, drive out in the middle. Like we've done it, where we just drive out
You want to show him your wolf call?
right now. I might wake up the.
No, there's nobody out here, dude. We are in the field.
Oh man, I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, don't get too close to the microphone. You might clip it.
Man, I'm nervous.
Like teach the people how you make the call.
So it starts in the gut, right?
It always starts in the gut.
Take a deep breath. And I like to cup my hands. Man, I'm so nervous on camera.
It's all
Look
good.
away.
Yeah, I'll look away. I'll look away.
Oh man, we'll see. Sure, Grace, folks. You want to try?
After you. Here, I'll look away. I'll look away. I'll look away.
Okay, just pretend I can close my eyes. I'm in the woods.
You're almost there. You almost had it. You're almost there.
And I'm no wolf calling expert by any means. I haven't shot a wolf yet, but.
Okay. I'm
So
I'm
before I
imagining
go, I
I'm in
have
the
to
woods.
justify. If y'all haven't heard of wolf, first of all, very deep, very hollow.
Very hollow, yeah.
Very hollow. Like I cannot do the hollowness. I run out of breath in like 5 seconds, and they do it for like 30 seconds, which is
Yeah.
insane. Plus, it's really deep, but they go like deep, and then they go high, and they have a little crack, and then they go back deep. So that's what I'm trying to learn how to do. But
You got it, bro. You're literally good. You're gonna call my dog over here pretty soon. I'm just gonna, here, I got you. I'm gonna use this flashlight and I'm gonna point it at the ceiling and it's gonna act like the moon. You know how wolves howl at the moon?
Yeah.
There you go, just to set you guys can't see it, but there's a flashlight circle, spotlight. Okay, I'll pretend like I'm in the woods and I'm just like camping or something.
Kiss, man.
This wolf is kicking my...
I'll just, okay. Man, I feel like...
All right, I'm a camper. I'm just like sleeping right, and I hear a wolf, right. What the heck? What was that? Is that a wolf?
Something like that. I don't think I'm that good at it, but I've been practicing. I'm trying to conquer it.
There was a few, like you did a few one time that I was like,
no, like
that
in the
was
woods,
actually
like right
pretty-
now, it's hard to
right because
focus.
the
Like,
resonance. Right now we're inside of a metal tin shop.
like when you howl
But, yeah.
down into a canyon, it actually sounds. Let me try again. It sounds like a siren.
God. So okay, coming back. I am.
I'm not
So
a
with that, just with that drive that you have, like for wolves, where does that put you? Is it because I know you've killed a bear before?
Yes.
You have that rug.
bears.
You got 2 bears. You dropped an elk, a bull.
No ball. Almost.
Almost.
I'm
Okay.
in my crosshairs.
Lion, I know you had that story. You tried to go after it. You wanted to, but you made the better call judgment, which is probably another reason why you're still alive today, to not do that. And then,
Give or take.
what about wolf? What has been your closest encounter with a wolf? And is that the next goal?
So, right off the bat, wolf is my number one goal.
Mm-hmm.
That is like, I want to shoot a wolf over anything.
Okay.
And the reason, like, I can't tell you why.
And that's above like any like a wild African animal, like it's a
Yeah.
wolf.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like. They're just so dang cool.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Like, I don't know what it is.
Would you stuff it? Would you eat it? What are you doing with the wolf? Make a hat out of it, maybe?
I'd probably just
A
get
flag?
I'd probably just get a rug for the first one.
Yeah. Oh, for the first. Okay, so there can be multiple.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm fascinated by wolves just because, one, I have a huge passion for just hunting in general, and I understand, like, from a conservation perspective, like, the wolves are running, especially where we live in this region, like, they're running everything dry. There are hardly any elk left, and the elk that are left, like, during the rut, they don't talk, they don't bugle, there's barely any of them left.
There's just way too much pressure on the elk.
Way too much pressure from the wolves.
Yeah.
Like, especially from the wolves, and then
Yeah.
the deer, everything. Like, that one area where I ran into that mountain line, there's a lot of wolves out there also, and it's like, you'll be walking around, and it's just a graveyard of bones.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it is wolves.
Yeah. No, those are crazy. Those are crazy.
And the wolves are just crazy, so a lot of it is just like...
To the bone, too. I mean, they get in there, like everything.
They eat everything.
Yeah.
And so a big part of it is like just conservation. A second part of it is just like I said, they're just so cool. And it's not like I'm just some guy that hates wolves. So like, kill all the wolves. I'm not saying, kill all the wolves, but I'm just like,
right.
I definitely respect them, and I think they're just so spectacular. Like, they're fast, they're smart. Like, the whole way that the pack works is just, I'm just fascinated by it. And I think, like, because of how smart, like, because of their intelligence level, I think that's why I'm so that's why I want to kill a wolf.
Right.
I think that's the hardest predator to kill.
Right. So it's almost like out of your respect for them, you're like, that is my challenge. Which to some people, if you're not a hunter or if you're not in that lifestyle, I think a bat just flew into here. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a bat. Dang, that's kind of cool.
Oh, there's bats dancing around us right now. There's a few, I guess.
What
Those things are going crazy. Don't look up, I might poop in your eyes. I've heard too many stories about that. But again, like this might not make sense to someone that's not a hunter or hasn't grown up in this kind of environment, right? Or society, I guess you could say, culture, because it's like, people will hear this like, oh, I want to kill a wolf, I want to do that. And they'll think like, you want to kill a wolf? You wolf murderer. But again, coming back to the understanding of there is a way that God established things to work. There has to be balance, there has to be order. And if we let these predators run wild, then there will be completely an obliteration of all the prey, right? And on the flip side as well, if we completely let this prey just go, there are going to be so many more car accidents. We're going to have roadkill everywhere. People's crops are going to get torn up, and it's just going to be mayhem either way. There has to be a balance. There has to be, just like we were talking about, where nature has balance. And so like, that's okay. So that's cool. So you really, really are driven, and you're really motivated to get a wolf.
Yeah.
What has been the closest encounter that you've had with a wolf in the flesh?
In the flesh, yeah. So last year, I shot my muley opening day.
Dang.
It was awesome. It was really cool. Mm-hmm. Photos.
That's it right there.
Can I do photos on podcast?
Yeah, you can. It's just afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that's like against podcast rules.
Dude, podcaster, you can do whatever you want on a podcast. It's your podcast.
So I shot last year. I shot a wolf. Not a wolf.
You just howled, okay? So
yeah. I shot my muley last year opening day. So I was focusing on elk for the rest of the season, and I had one of my cousin's brother-in-law came into town, and he's like, hey, can you take him hunting? Like, he really wants to go hunting. He really wants to shoot a mountain muley, this and that. And like, yeah, I can take him out. Like, I got a few spots. So we were actually on e-bikes this time.
Dude, that's clutch.
So we went like way far, really fast.
Yeah. It's a game changer.
Game changer, but
yeah,
they're getting cracked down now, so it's like super limited.
Makes sense. For that first few years, you know how it is.
For the first few years, it's like, oh yeah, like we can all do it. And now it's like every road is like, no motorized vehicles, no e-bikes, like they because it's like one of those like, it was a great area, but now they're cracking down on it. But anyways,
that's how it usually goes.
So we're going up, and disclaimer: this guy he hunts ducks, but he doesn't have a lot of experience. Like hunting big game, so he's just kind of falling behind a little more because like even though we're on e-bikes, there's still a lot of like physical like we're e-bikes in the snow going uphill. Like there's just
right. This isn't a paved road.
Yeah, it's not a paved road. You're still putting in.
You're in the woods, dude. Yeah.
And so he's falling a little behind and stuff, and I pedal up to the top of the peak almost. Mm-hmm. And I'm waiting for him, and I hear
right.
No, it wasn't actually crazy. It was actually like a really, really, almost. It was like a silent howl. It wasn't silent. It was like really like. I don't know how to explain it, but it was like
a muffled howl.
Like not even muffled. It was just like a quiet little howl. Like it wasn't the typical like.
Like you're like, oh, this wolf's trying to be quiet.
I didn't think of that, but that's what it was. Like it was just really silent. I didn't think much of it. I just thought I was really far away. Like I thought it was on the other side of the mountain, so I thought the mountain was a barrier.
Right. Okay, gotcha.
So I don't want to get ahead of myself, but so from my perspective, I'm like, oh, this wolf is over the mountain. Like I know they're close, but I think they're right over the ridge.
Right. Okay.
He paddles up, and I listen. Mm-hmm. We wait for like 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Another howl. Couple minutes, another howl. I'm like, okay, dude, like, there's a wolf really close by. Mm-hmm. This is what we're gonna do. So I know, this was my plan. I'm like, we're gonna bike to that other mountain. Like, we're gonna bike. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how to explain it. So we're on the road, right? Mm-hmm. And the road curves.
Okay.
So the road curves this way, right? I don't know. So we're standing here. The road curves. And there's like a mountain right here. Okay. And it curves. Do you have a visual?
Kind of, yeah.
So there's the road. There's a hill, and on the other side it's a mountain, and there's more mountains back there. Okay. We're looking at a mountain.
Right.
We're looking at a hill because we're on top of the mountain. We're looking just like at the very peak. It's just going over.
Okay.
So I'm like, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna pedal up to. We're gonna ride up to that little hill. We're gonna crest over it. We're gonna get on the ridge, and I'm gonna howl.
Right.
And I'm like, when you howl in another wolf's territory, like they know the pack's voice, they know everything. It's like,
Right.
so my plan is like, I'm gonna get right into there.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna howl.
You're gonna rile them up.
I'm gonna rile them up, and they're gonna come. They're gonna check me out of just curiosity.
Right,
They're
yeah.
Like, oh, who is this? What is this? And then
Right.
gonna
Who's
get
this
set up.
newcomer? Who's this fresh meat?
Yeah, and that was my plan.
Mm-hmm.
Call them in, shoot them, get them. So we hop back on the bike. I start pedaling. And like I mentioned, this road curves. And I pedal maybe 50 yards. And on this little bend, there's a little patch. So there's a little drainage. And there's a patch of trees. And I pedal. And I see the wolf.
How big was this thing? What did it look like? What kind of stature did this thing present to you?
The one I saw, it wasn't a big wolf. It was like
I mean,
it was bigger than
if
Korsy,
you
my
had to
dog.
guess,
So-
I mean, if you had
so
to guess,
Korsy,
like,
my dog,
who was he in this group?
Okay.
What was this
probably
wolf?
just one of the. So wolves have a dynamic. There's obviously like the alpha male, and then there's the hunter, like the more of like the.
Was he just like a normie?
Like he was a
kind of like a
normie.
geek, or was
No,
he more
he
of
was-
like an athlete? Like, where did this guy
He
fit
would be
in?
the normie.
Was he a jock?
No, he'd be the normie of the group, one of the normies. He wasn't very big. He was probably. I mean, I would say he was probably 70 pounder. So like
Okay,
not
yeah.
small.
Right,
But
right.
they get.
They get big.
They get
They get
up
way
there.
bigger than you'd think they get.
They get really big. So
Yeah.
probably 20
Right.
pounds bigger than Puss. Yeah.
Okay.
So my dog.
Yeah.
So like a decent sized wolf.
Could be a young wolf or something, like an adolescent.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And I see this thing. I'm like, there's no way. I hop off, grab my rifle, and just out of intuition, or not intuition, just out of instinct, I just start running
Right.
after it.
Yeah, just
I'm
instantly.
just like, I'm running. Like I don't care.
Prey drive.
I'm gonna run. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna run until
Yeah.
I see it on the other hillside. Like obviously I'm not.
So
gonna
this thing
catch
saw
it.
you and it booked it, and you were
Booked
just
it.
like, that's where I'm going.
Booked it. Man, my nose
Right.
is really itchy.
We got smoke. Sorry, guys. There's like a lot of smoke coming in, so if you see us like rubbing our eyes, and there's a lot of smoke running up into
Yeah.
this. I haven't used this chimney for a while,
Anyways,
since winter.
so the interesting thing is though, like, what happens with me too, it's like when I see a predator, especially a predator, I hyper focus on that. And I don't see anything but that.
Yeah, you become a predator.
Like, I literally,
Yeah.
in that moment,
You get that tunnel
as soon as
vision.
I saw that wolf, complete tunnel vision, all I see is this wolf. I don't see anything around me.
Yeah.
I'm just jumping off and running after it, and all I see is that wolf. And I'll play a video also of like, after I saw that wolf. It's pretty funny. So because I'm hyper focused, I don't see anything but that one wolf, and I lost it within the first like 2 seconds.
I mean, that thing can run so
was
fast.
gone.
You have no chance.
Gone.
In snow, I mean, no.
Interesting thing is though, the guy I was taking hunting though, he was still a ways behind me.
Right.
Like we met up, and then I got way ahead of him again.
Right.
So like he's
Yeah, you guys are
consistently behind me.
yo-yoing up the mountain.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And he's like, yeah, dude, like and this is like his crazy because this is like his first time hunting big game, and you don't see wolves your first
Yeah.
time. And, like most guys have never seen a wolf.
It's a rare experience.
Very rare. Very rare. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh yeah, I saw like 4 wolves run in the opposite or run in the direction that you came, like
Yeah.
run
that way.
towards the direction that you came from. So what happened is I saw that one wolf. I'm hyper focused.
Yeah.
I ran after that, and there was like 4, maybe even 5 other wolves. I don't know. That ran like towards me,
Bro.
like they just ran right past me because they're on the hill. Because the one I saw was on the road.
Uh-huh.
I guess the other ones were right on the hill. And this is another thing that I'm kind of mad at myself about. It's like if I just like calm down, because there's a pack. Like
Yeah.
that one saw me on the road, but there's a high
Right.
chance that there was another 1 or 2 that were still like kind of like what's going on, just like
Right.
posted up. Like there's a chance that all of them ran, but there's also a chance that like they didn't run right away, and like because he was behind me, he's like, oh yeah, I saw like 4 wolves run towards you, not towards me, but
Yeah,
it's not
where
on the road.
you would have been.
Yeah, so I'm like, bruh,
Yeah, like, how did I miss that
Like,
shot?
how did I miss 4 wolves? Like,
Yeah.
he said, like, they're like right, like probably 20, 30 yards. Like, I ran
Right.
right, like, they ran right past me, and I was just like so tunnel vision on that one wolf.
Yeah.
that I literally didn't see anything.
Well, I mean, it just shows you kind of like that when people are trigger happy or when they're happy, it's like there are certain things instinctually that you have inside of you that you almost have to very intentionally like work against.
Yeah.
Because you can self-sabotage like that. And you won't even realize it.
Yeah, it was crazy. So,
Yeah.
literally ran past those wolves. I'm like, dude, do you just realize what happened? He's like, oh, yeah, we saw wolves. I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
we just like ran into a pack of wolves.
Yeah.
Like, we literally ran into a pack of wolves.
Yeah.
Like, right into them.
Like you guys could have played tennis. Y'all were close.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was like
Like,
right there.
you'll hear wolves when you're hunting something.
Yeah.
You know.
But you don't see them,
You don't
dude.
see them.
And when they get, here's the thing, when you hear them and they start getting close, that's when you stop hearing them.
Yeah.
You guys were hearing them as you guys were getting close. They didn't even know you were there.
No.
They were caught off
So
guard.
if that's one of those things where it's like, you have to be so patient in the woods. Like,
Yeah,
if I just
you really
waited,
do.
that is one of the times where it's like, you just gotta wait, and you just never know when to wait. It's
Yeah.
like, it's really
Yeah.
weird, but
And it's always a shoulda, coulda, woulda, but I didn't type of situation.
yeah, and you
so
can't
it's
really
like,
do anything about it.
don't
It's-
blame yourself too much, but yeah, kind of take it as you go,
That was
I
definitely
guess.
like a learning experience. Cool thing is though, so I went home that night. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard that howl before, and I was searching up like all sorts of like howls and stuff, like all these videos.
Like wolf language, duolingo.com.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
okay. Yeah.
And interesting is like, you know how I mentioned it was like a quiet howl.
Yeah. Oh, I think you told me this. Yeah, I remember
So
you saying
that
this.
howl is actually the alpha gathering the pack.
Really?
Yeah.
And you said this was a bit of a smaller wolf,
The wolf I saw.
right? That doesn't
But
necessarily mean
there's
that
probably
it's the
if
alpha.
he saw 4 more wolves, there's at least 5, but
Right,
it's probably
right.
It's probably at least pack of 5, probably pack of 6 or 7 even. So I
Right.
didn't see the alpha.
Could have been more that you wouldn't have seen for sure. Oh, dang, that's cool.
Yeah. So what he was doing is he
That
was
is
calling
cool.
up.
He was getting the crew together. Yeah, they're about
So
to
they
roll
probably knew that we were right there. They probably heard us, and that makes me wonder. Where it's like, if I did howl, like how would they respond then? Like
out. Right.
would
Well, I
would
mean,
they
you.
come check me out or like?
Right. Well,
But it's like crazy. Like even if like this one is a coulda, woulda, shoulda.
I
But like,
know.
even
Yeah.
if I howled where I heard him,
Yeah.
all that because from where I was standing to where that bend was 100 yards. They were just on that bend. If I howled, and if they just walked out, I would have seen them
yeah, into the clearing.
right under, and I would have known. And they would
Higher
be
chance of
curious
getting a
and
shot too.
way easy. Like,
Way
it would
higher
be-
shot.
What?
Way higher chance of you getting a shot on
Way
two.
higher, yeah.
Just getting the crosshairs on.
Like
yeah.
because they would be on the road,
Yeah.
great shooting lane, 100 yards, perfect distance. like,
Right.
it would have been perfect. And it's like, dude, like, imagine if you, but once again, I've never heard that howl before, and I thought they were over that ridge, so I didn't want to howl too early.
Just the things that, just the things that, I mean, I know for sure for you, because of the amount of hunting that you've done, it's just the things that you learn while you're playing the game, while you're in it, while you're around it, while you just,
Yeah.
But it's always like, no room for condemnation. But yeah, so I mean, just kind of stringing all those things together, and sort of coming back to the beginning of like Albert's intro of, you're kind of slightly out of the frame right now.
Oh.
But we gotta get close. I don't even know where I am in the frame. But kind of bringing that all together, it's sort of, I mean, like the main takeaway points is just like one, like just nature and how humbling it is, and just realizing that like this is God's design and how everything operates, but like you're inside the food chain. You know, you really are. Once you're out there, like you're depending on yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, and I think a great takeaway point that we can all learn is like from Albert's story about the mountain lion, where making those calls, even though they can be hard, man, I can get myself a tom, I can get myself, but it's like, hey, really consider what is going to be the price right now. What is this going to cost? Is this worth it? Am I going to make it home tonight? And that's a hard call to make, especially when you have that drive and you're like, dude, I'm this close.
Yeah.
Like 98% of hunters won't actually ever see this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm this close. A wolf, you're like, dude, I'm this close, you know? But it's just like making those judgment calls and be like, what's actually worth, you know?
Super important, even just like with deer and
Super
elk.
important, dude.
More common deer and elk, where it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you can hike 10 miles in a day, but are you going to be able to hike 10 miles back with a full
Right.
backpack with
Yeah.
100-pound mule deer,
Yeah.
or are you going to have to...
You're not made out of steel, dude.
Like you can go so far until you're carrying a mule
Yeah.
deer, or you have to pack out a full elk by yourself, and it's like, that's not easy. Like, so I've packed out animals and stuff, and I know we're wrapping up, but like, you know, maybe for another podcast I'll talk about the pack out stories, but it's like, you do not want to be, like me personally, after 5 miles, even if I can go further, which I can, like 5 miles deep, I'm turning around, just because I know after 5 miles, like, I'm in trouble. Like, I'm going to be in
You're
trouble.
going to be running on
like,
fumes.
I'm going to, like...
You're not going to make as good decisions. You're not, I mean, yeah.
Plus, because I solo hunt, too. Like,
Right.
with a partner, like, it might
Right.
be a little different, but I'm
Right.
solo.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely a good call.
So, yeah, always just, like you said, like, taking those calls, being rational, and, like, just kind of thinking what's called, like, foresighted, like...
Yeah,
or,
don't be so nearsighted. Yeah, right, like, yeah, what is that, foresight?
I think like look like further ahead, like
Right, well, we don't know our terminology because we're not that articulate, I guess. But
not Joe Rogan. Okay?
Yeah, we're Joe Rogan, okay, bro? Yeah, but I guess just having that wisdom to, like, make the correct calls when you need to, and yeah. I don't know what the word you're looking for is.
Anyways,
That word.
be smart.
This word right here. Put on the... Yeah.
Just be smart, I guess.
Be smart, be safe.
Simple words. Be smart, be safe. Plan. Tell folks where you're going.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to get this year is I'm going to get a little Garmin InReach,
Those are awesome.
where it's like just a satellite where you can SOS, or you can shoot a text where it's like, hey, bull down, or like, worst case scenario, like, help. You know, like, that's the worst case
Right,
scenario.
yeah.
But it's like,
Yeah.
you plan, hope for the best,
Yeah.
plan for the worst.
Right. Always, yeah. Be safe. Realize you're not the only hunter out there, and respect nature. Definitely respect nature.
Yeah, you don't want to mess around with Mother Nature.
Yeah.
So, awesome. So I don't know how long we've been rolling for, and I can go on for hours, but it's almost 1 o'clock, so
Yeah.
we're gonna wrap it up. And Alex, thank you for
Dude, yeah. Thank you for
awesome
having me.
conversation.
That was cool.
Might have you out again some other time. More stories, more stuff, and
Yeah.
folks, I know this is the very first podcast, and I don't know how many of you are still watching. However, if you're still watching, I just want to say a big thank you. I really appreciate
You
every
guys are
single-
troopers.
troopers. I appreciate all of you guys, and let me know what you guys think about this podcast, and let me know if you guys want to see more content like this, because just a little insight on Ballista and just a little behind the scenes is we want to create a community other than just like always just pushing our product. We have an awesome product, but we understand that y'all are people, and we want to show you guys our lives also, just because, you know, not everyone shoots a crossbow every single day like me. I'm probably the only person in the world that shoots a crossbow literally every day. So this is just a little more behind the scenes, a little more personal. Plus, I know hunting stories are always great. And there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoyed having you guys out here watching us. And that's a wrap. Subscribe, comment, like, subscribe. Do whatever you want. And we'll see you next time.
Heck yeah, dude. Nice.
It's done.